Two FIRs lodged against TVF boss Arunabh Kumar for sexual harassment, but the Mumbai police says they are unable to trace the founder of the online entertainment channel.
बड़ी मैम ने दो बच्चों पर मेरे कपड़े उतरवाए और क्लास में बिठा रखी थी। हमारे से कपड़े उतरवाए बच्चों के, बोल रही थी जो तुमने ना उतारे ना मैं तुम्हारी पिटाई करूंगी। बहुत
कपड़े बिल्कुल नहीं उतारे गए हैं किसी भी बच्चे के, ये सब साजिश है।
Shocking incident reported from Muzaffarnagar in Uttar Pradesh. Nearly 70 female students forced to strip by the warden to check for menstrual blood. An inquiry is underway. And after an explosive Mirror Now investigative report comes its impact. Mumbai's civic body, the BMC, puts it in writing that security will be beefed up in government hospitals across Mumbai.
Actually, I issued a statement. You all know that actually there is actually nothing more than that. No political, nothing. No politics.
And finally, the suspense is over. Superstar Rajinikanth will not join politics. Soon your burgers, chips and packed sweets like gulab jamun could get costlier. Now the centre mulls a fat tax on junk food across India. Hello and welcome to the big story here on Mirror Now. I'm Krishna Kumar. Let's get straight to it then. Even after 2 cases of harassment was filed against the viral fever's chief Arunabh Kumar, the police is yet to catch hold of him. Last night, another harassment complaint has been filed at the Versova Police station. Now, on Thursday, Arunabh was summoned by the police to record his statement in another case of harassment. We have Aishwarya Paliwal, who has been tracking this case, getting us the latest in this report. First up, take a look.
Now, the police personnel here in the MIDC police station are looking for Mr. Arunabh Kumar at the places where he used to frequently visit. They have already started with searching his residence and his office. But what they are saying is that till now they have no clue as to where Mr. Kumar is. They are alleging that he's absconding. Now, 50 women had taken to social media and had posted incidents where they said that they were molested by Arunabh Kumar. Till now, 2 women have came forward and they have filed FIRs. One woman filed an FIR here at MIDC police station and the other one filed an FIR at the Versova police station. Both of them saying that they were harassed and molested by Arunabh Kumar in 2 different instances. Now the police has already started the investigation. They are saying that will carry on parallelly, and on the other hand they will keep on looking for Mr. Kumar, and as and when they find him, they will arrest him.
Where is Mr. Arunabh Kumar? That is the big question. And to take the big story forward, we're now being joined here in our Mirror Now studios by Trisha Shetty, lawyer and founder of She Says, the NGO. Trisha, thank you so much as always for taking time out to be with us here on the big story on Mirror Now. Well, what do we got here? In the midst of sexual harassment hitting headlines across the country for different categories, here is one which is very familiar, isn't it? Somebody from the entertainment industry, somebody who's famous and has been accused allegedly by 50 women. And now we have 2 police complaints.
You know, the problem is grave. Sexual harassment at the workplace, even though we have the POSH Act, that is Prevention and Redressal from Sexual Harassment, the implementation of it is extremely weak. You know, people have been talking about whether an ICC, an Internal Complaints Committee, was established in this case and did they take the case forward. But actually, since the complaint is against the head CEO, Mr. Kumar, the complaint should have actually gone to LCC, not ICC. And even the very first reaction that they gave, where they said, you know, we will find the person who's made the accusation, we will track you down, we will bring severe justice. That is not the kind of response any company should have given should they want to, you know, assuage their female employees that we take your safety seriously.
And
you don't threaten them and say, you know, we'll find you. And
absolutely, that response did meet with its fair share of contempt in social media as well, Trisha. So. Absolutely. But also one more thing about the response is what Arunabh Kumar said. He said, I'm a heterosexual guy. I called a woman sexy. What is wrong in that?
Now, see, again, in this context, you know, if a friend calls you sexy, compliments you or your looks, that's fine. You may take offense to it, but that's fine. What he has done in the context of a workplace is an illegal offense. You cannot make, sexually explicit remarks and put people in that position if they're working with you. So even him just saying, I'm a heterosexual man, this is how I go around complimenting women, this is how I showcase my heterosexualness. I mean, just that very blatant statement that he's made, recognizing that he called someone sexy in the context of workplace, is an illegal offense. It comes under Section 354, outraging a woman's modesty. It's an offense under the POSH Act as well as under the IPC. So it feels like he obviously has no guilt. He seems like he allegedly like a serial offender, and these are classic textbook cases of serial perpetrators. We've seen this happen with Bill Cosby, with Roger Ailes. People, once the second one case comes forward, you have a multitude of cases coming forward, because these people don't just stop at predating with one person.
And in a sense, you're saying that he has admitted to something which he's done as guilty by putting out that statement that he said that I've committed this offense under this particular act, right? Two acts.
Admitting that he's calling a woman sexy at the workplace and saying, hey, that's just what straight men do.
That's admitting to guilt.
It's at the workplace. You're guilty of sexually, coming onto a woman.
All those who are watching, let's get that out of the way. That explanation means absolutely nothing. That explanation basically means that he's admitted to committing a crime under the Indian Penal Code and the POSH Act as well. Trisha, I'm going to ask you this one more thing as well. This is a company, the Viral Fever, which is a startup. Startups are the flavor of the country. It's all about entrepreneurship and people who don't have backgrounds, who don't come from well-established houses, doing their own thing, being anti-establishment in a sense, and doing their own thing and doing it the right way. And here you have somebody from that industry, who's accused of something like this. How does it bode for the traditional entertainment industry has been accused of casting couch for the longest time. Now we're talking about TVF, which is again facing the same problems. I'm wondering where exactly are things going wrong over here?
See, I would still like to look at this incident as, in its unique form and not paint the entire industry as problematic. But having said that, I think at this point it's important for all of us to see if you're working at your workplace, does it have an ICC established? If it has more than 10 employees, does it have an ICC established? Because we know for a fact that a lot of companies are not even in compliance of the POSH Act. They don't even have a complaints committee established. So if you're working, make sure your office has an ICC established
in every district. An internal complaints committee, yeah.
Yes, in every district. And the only reason why they shouldn't, if you have less than 10 employees, then you can file a complaint under the LCC. It's also important to note that you must file your complaint within 3 months from the date of last incident. This is not like an IPC case where there's no statute of limitations. You have to file within 3 months from the date of last incident. And even if you're worried about there's no proof, that's fine. The burden of proof is on the accused. So the important thing here for everyone to note is that make sure your company is in compliance. Should you be facing any sort of sexual harassment, report it to the ICC. If an ICC is not set up in place, then escalate the matter, complain to the Women and Child Development Officer, complain to the District Officer of the Registrar Act. So there are a lot of, it's important here for women to know their rights and complain if they're feeling like their rights are being violated.
Absolutely. This is straight to all the women who are watching the show. Trisha Shetty telling us how exactly it works. 3 months, not more than 3 months from the incident is where you need to make sure that you file that complaint. For all those of you watching, Trisha, I'm going to ask you one more thing as well. When this entire thing broke out, we had one anonymous Facebook post, which was followed by 50 more allegations, all on social media, all on Facebook, women complaining about sexual harassment at the hands of Arunabh Kumar. And just 48 hours ago, the case is almost dropped because nobody came forward to officially file a complaint. And just in the nick of time, 24 hours ago, we had one complaint being filed in the morning and one complaint being filed in the evening. What does it have to say about the environment in which women are working, even in big cities where they are still very, very scared to come forward and admit to something like this?
The big problem is victim blaming, shaming. Every time a woman comes forward, she's questioned. What did you do just before the assault? What did you do just after the assault? Why did you continue working if he sexually abused you? Oh, you must have enjoyed it. This is just a case of sour grapes. There's something else. You're taking vengeance by filing a sexual harassment case. Do you have any proof? So we've heard these excuses time and again being presented to women. So in this climate, it's very hard to put the onus completely on women and say, hey, if you've been abused, come forward. We need a whole system overall where, like I said, make sure companies are complying with rules and regulations. If any harassment complaint comes forward, take it seriously. And this is even the case with Pachori. You know, all it takes is one brave woman to come forward anonymously or taking forth her name, and then you have these avalanche of cases that come up. And when you have so many cases, then it's hard to just look at it as, you know, is it just mere allegation? You have to look at these cases seriously, each and every single one of them. Even in this case, there was enough for anyone to take suo motu cognizance and the police to take action. You know, there were allegations, there were multiple posts put up on Facebook. People could have taken action, the police could have taken action, and I know there's a lawyer, I forget his name, but he had filed a complaint on behalf of the anonymous women.
A third-party complaint was filed,
third-party complaint was filed.
But then the Mumbai police said that since no victim has filed a complaint, we can't take any action, we might have to close the case. That is another problem with the police system that women face when they have to file a complaint. That's probably the reason why 50 of them were able to talk about it on Facebook. Probably there are even more, but none of them can even approach the gates of a police station in this country to file a complaint for sexual harassment. That's a sad state of affairs. Trisha, please hold on with us, because now being joined on the phone line by Rizwan Siddiqui, who has in fact lodged an FIR against the TVF boss. Mr. Rizwan Siddiqui, I want to understand, what are your thoughts at this point in time? 2 official complaints have come now from victims.
See, first and foremost, I would like to, state that I'm very happy that 2 girls have come forward and they've become the original complainant, that is the informant, by filing an FIR directly in their name. Okay. Also, let me, make everybody understand that the provision of law allows a third-party complaint also. And I have done that earlier. I have filed an FIR, a proper FIR under Section 354 against another individual for having, sexually... not sexually, but I'll say that he has outraged the modesty of various women from the film fraternity, and the FIR was lodged by me as a third party. I was not a victim there. I was not the lawyer for the victims there, but I still did it. So the law is very clear on this. We're absolutely clear. Section 195 to 199 of CRPC makes the provision where a third party can come forward and file complaints in these kind of cases. And also Section 166A, subsection C of Criminal Amendment Act makes it very clear that if the police fail to register the FIR under Section 354, then they can be punished for 2 years. And that is exactly what I've done by filing a complaint against the DCP and the senior inspector. All right, so the law is absolutely clear with regards to my rights as a third party to file a complaint. Now, with regards to the sexual harassment at workplace is concerned, the act pertaining to that, the problem is that the penal provisions are not there, and therefore, on the first contravention, 50,000 penalty, and on the second contravention, 1 lakh penalty has been prescribed. Therefore, corporates are not coming forward and taking these things very, very seriously, because 50,000 and 1 lakh rupee is not a very big amount for them. Secondly, let me make it also clear that the women, even if there's no sexual harassment committee there within their premises, within the corporates that they're working for, they can still very well exercise their rights under the IPC, and they can come forward and register a 354 complaint directly. Unfortunately, sometimes there are media-driven cases where the women are a little scared or worried, that their names will become, public. So therefore, they don't come forward. So in these kind of cases, I personally feel a third party like me should volunteer and come forward, where the victims then become witnesses. And as per Section 160 of CRPC, victims who are witnesses, they need not even go to the police station. The law prescribes that the police officer, lady police officer, can visit the victims directly at their places and record their statements. So their identity is 100% protected in that particular way. So the law is very clear. It's very unfortunate that not a lot of people know these provisions of law. True. And therefore therefore the chaos and confusion. And to add to that, the police do not do the duties. They in turn, by not doing the duties, they help the accused to a very large extent for reasons best known to them. So I'm very determined to take this to a logical conclusion. I am still, I have not withdrawn my complaint. My original complaint is still as it is. I will ensure that the complaint is registered, where the victims are giving 100% safeguard with regards to their name, and they become witnesses in my complaint, so that they don't have to come forward and go to the police station to record any of the statements here.
So that is strike 3 as far as Arunabh Kumar is concerned. 2 victims complaining, and 1 is the case filed by Mr. Rizwan Siddiqui. Mr. Rizwan Siddiqui, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on the Big Story in Mirror Now and talking to us and sharing your thoughts. Trisha, Rizwan also making it very clear that the law is very clear, but the problem is that people don't understand the fact that there is a law. People don't understand the fact that technically the police are supposed to send a women constable to the victim's house to record a statement in anonymity. Is that even close to being followed?
Look, Mirror Now itself followed a case of the physiotherapist who was raped, murdered, and for the longest time, for I believe 54 days, we couldn't find, the accused was not to be found. In her case, her name, her identity was disclosed across media publications, major ones, print, and there was no action taken. Till date, there's been no punitive action taken. So, it's hard, again, to tell victims constantly, come forth, when the system is failing you time and again. So at this point, every case, every aberration, every time a victim's identity is disclosed by any media publication, it's a criminal offense and they should be charged rightly for it. In this situation, again, coming back to this case, I'm so glad that Mr. Rizwan has taken forward the complaint, and it's important for women to know their rights. It's important for them to know that this is not just a way of life. You will not meet any woman who's never faced sexual harassment. Unfortunately, that's the reality that we're living in. We don't need to normalize this. We have laws in place that are safeguarding our rights. We now need to use it. Come up, come forth, complain. It is not your shame to bear.
Absolutely. It's not your shame to bear. Come up, come forward. There are people like Trisha Shetty who will help you gladly. So if you need to file a sexual harassment case, and Trisha Shetty is not alone, and there are many good lawyers out there who will help you take the legal path. But Trisha, let's just now pause for a bit and take a look at the report. Now, in between all of this, TVF boss Arunabh Kumar is allegedly absconding, and the police is unable to trace him. Now, we went to the headquarters of the viral fever in Andheri West in Mumbai, and this is what we found out. Take a look at this.
Absconding, untraceable. These are the words being used by the Mumbai police for Mr. Anurabh Kumar, the CEO and the founder of the viral fever. Two women have filed an FIR separately, one at the MIDC police station in Andheri and the other one in Versova Police station again in Andheri. And they have categorically stated in the FIR that they were molested and harassed by Mr. Anurabh Kumar on different occasions. Now, 50 women had taken on social media and they had come out with different posts in which they had talked about instances in which they were harassed. Some were even molested by Mr. Anurabh Kumar. Now, the police is saying that as soon as the FIR was lodged, they started out a hunt for Mr. Anurabh Kumar, but they cannot find him. I'm here right outside his office, the viral fever's office, and people inside do not know where he is. The police is extremely confident that they'll be able to find him, and as soon as they do so, they are saying that if need be, they will arrest him on the spot. Also, they are saying that two parallel investigations have already been started. One on the basis of the FIR at MIDC police station and the other one on the basis of the FIR in the Versova police station. What they are also telling us is that if need be, they will be calling in TVF employees to record their statements. Investigation going on and the hunt for Mr. Anurabh Kumar is on. That is the current status of the cases that have been filed by women pertaining Mr. Anurabh Kumar, the co-founder and the CEO of TVF. Ishwara Paliwal for Mirror Now.
So Mr. Arunabh Kumar is absconding. Trisha, what does the law have to say about this? We've got two complaints being filed. They have to, the police have to send out summons, and he has to come and record a statement within 24 hours, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. Where does the law feature in the scheme of things? It's been over 24 hours since the complaint was filed, and Mr. Arunabh Kumar is yet to show up to record his statement. So what can happen to him? There should have been an arrest warrant, filed, a non-available arrest warrant filed in this regard because he is not available. And also, I think this is also, at this point we should bring to light follow and parole. How many times have we heard of rape accused who get convicted, jumping, getting parole and follow and absconding? We have multiple cases. If you see the data that shares how many people got parole and how many return back to jail, it's minimal. There's no sort of tracking system that we have currently in our judiciary, in our legal framework. So we need to look at, again, coming back, look at the whole system. At this point, what has happened is we've built an atmosphere and a climate where perpetrators are emboldened and it's victims who are living in fear. So even in this case, it's a disappointment that the Mumbai police is coming forward and saying that they can't track a man down. We're living in a digital age where talking about everything being digitized and Aadhaar cards and everything. And at this point, you can't track one man, a notable personality whose face is being plastered across media channels for the past 1 month. That's extremely troublesome. Exactly. We're expecting illiterate people to go digital with their payments. And here we are in that age of where we want to make sure every single payment in this country is made the digital way, take the internet way, take all kind of technology help. And you can't find a guy who lives smack in the middle of Mumbai and with multiple mobile phones and whatnot to contact him. I want to also understand this. Okay, so there is an arrest warrant, a non-bailable arrest warrant that needs to be issued, is what you're saying, right, at this stage? In this case, because, he's not available for questioning, he's been accused. So there is grounds for that.
Again, it's very problematic. The kind of messaging that the Mumbai police is sending out is that they can't track an accused who there is an FIR filed against him. So at this point, of course, it's in the power of the police to take actions further. They can't just sit and say, hey, we can't find him, we don't know what to do.
Exactly.
That's not how our system is
exactly.
built.
What do you mean you can't find him? It's not a child lost in a crowded marketplace, is it? And well, Mumbai police, the onus clearly lies on Mumbai police. That's very clear at this stage. I also want to understand, what is Arunabh Kumar looking to achieve by not showing up in front of the police? Can he get away with it by taking this time off away from police? Maybe if he's called in for questioning, then it's an open and shut case.
Sadly, I don't share the mind of Mr. Kumar. That would be troublesome at this point.
No, but Trisha, I'm asking, legally speaking, can he get away with it? Being the point here, what do we need to do to make sure Arunabh Kumar and men like Arunabh Kumar don't get away with it?
I think every time a case of sexual harassment is brought up, we have to be extremely vigilant. If you look at the conviction rates of less than 29% that we have anyways,
abysmal.
In rape cases, we have to be extremely vigilant with each and every case. So even in this case, I don't know what his strategy is with not showing up and, being answerable to the police station and going through the line of questioning. I can't tell what his strategy is, but I would say this, that people need to see this case through from now till the very end, till they manage to track him, hopefully sooner than later, and bring him into questioning.
Also, I want to understand this one off question that I have to ask you. Even when these things we spoke about, you did talk about victim shaming and etc. etc. There are. I'm going to go back to where it all began. 50 women accused. There was an anonymous blog post which began it all, but no word from the person who put up that anonymous blog post. Is that sort of allowing grey area to creep into something which doesn't exactly merit grey area?
Look, every time there's an accusation of sexual harassment, abuse, rape, the first reaction of everyone is to doubt. Veracity. Did it actually happen to you? Why did you keep quiet for so long? Is it a relationship gone sour? We've seen all of this. So in this case, it's imperative for women who've been abused to come forward and report, right? You have to. That's how you set the law in motion. There needs to be an aggrieved person. And even if there was not, like Mr. Siddiqui said, another third party can report. But in this case, of course, it is imperative for women to report. But we have to also understand that how will they get to the position where they feel comfortable reporting? To then say, if a woman is not coming forward and reporting, perhaps the abuse did not happen in the first place, is something that I find problematic, given that I work in this space. Perhaps we should look at, how can we make sure that women feel comfortable reporting, that the onus of making sure that justice is served, the law is in motion, is on the judiciary, is on police officials, and they do their job. And it's important. We are duty holders, we are right holders, they are duty bearers, they are answerable to us.
Absolutely.
We need to set that tone.
We can start by not doubting women who don't come forward to file a complaint simply because the system has let them down time and again, and system even still now is not ready to take complaints. So when a woman doesn't come forward to complain, let's not start with doubt. Let's go back to the fact that women are not being able to file sexual harassment complaints or even rape complaints for that matter in this country.
And the pendency of cases is what, 2 to 3 years?
Yeah.
You don't take into account the mental toll, the physical toll, the emotional toll. Counseling is not provided for mandatorily. So there are so many, hindrances to keep in mind beyond just the assault and abuse that a woman has gone through. Again, I strongly believe in the institution. As a lawyer, I strongly believe people must complain. But when you look at the whole system, we need to address the hindrances that are being put in place.
Absolutely. Trisha Shetty, thank you so much for coming over here on the Big Story on Mirror Now and reminding us that there are certain things that needs to be done and done right away and not let women suffer anymore. And with that, we will be slipping into a short break. Lots more on the other side. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Big Story on Mirror Now. I'm Krishna Kumar. Prepare to say goodbye to junk food. If the government has its way, your bag of chips, that favorite burger and that lip-smacking gulab jamun could get more expensive. The centre is considering a proposal to levy a fat tax on junk food. My colleague Amita Balachandra gets us all the details in this special report.
Double cheeseburger with your favorite French fries. Sounds yum? Maybe not. When you hear how much it will cost. If all goes according to plan, food rich in sugar, salt and saturated fats could become expensive. In a bid to curb India's increasing waistline, the centre is proposing a nationwide VAT tax.
One of the recommendations relate to, that government could consider imposing tax on ultra processed food and highly sweetened food category. So that is it. There is no specific recommendation in terms of what kind of food can be included in that taxation. The report is already with the Government of India, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and I think they are examining it.
The government action comes on the back of an alarming rise in diabetics and heart patients in the country. Look at the numbers. Every year, nearly 5.8 million Indians die of heart and lung diseases, cancer and diabetes. A WHO report says that the number of obese and overweight children has doubled since 1990 to 10.3 million.
Starts becoming apparent by 18 years, and rapidly the metabolic changes which occur due to the junk food, they rapidly increase from 18 to 25 years. By 25 years or 30 years, the metabolism is all set for development of diabetes, and by 35 years, metabolism is all set or upset for development of cardiovascular disease.
Among other proposals, the expert committee has also recommended the usage of traffic light labelling system to mark food high on sugar. Doctors believe that junk food can be addictive, and hence such regulations must be imposed.
We need to create a consumer awareness for among the housewives, among the women, among the people who influences food choices, so that when a consumer wants to eat food, he has to be mindful of eating.
A concern that the food regulator is also trying to address is to see how they can grade traditional sweet and snacks. Many of these are sold loose without any packaging and hence do not carry labels like high in fat, salt and sugar.
We need to be working with small halwai associations and food processors in the small and medium sector as to nudge them and facilitate them that they reduce the use of salt, sugar and saturated fats in what they are producing.
While it is unclear about what kind of percentage will be imposed on food items with high level of sugar, packaged food industry worth about $60 billion is obviously not very happy. In fact, we also understand that the industry players have already made a representation with the central government in a high-level meeting that took place last month. When Mirror Now contacted industry players like Nestle, Coca-Cola and Pepsi, they refused to comment, saying that they will wait until the policy is implemented. Amata Balachandra for Mirror Now.
And with that, it's a wrap here on The Big Story on Mirror Now. Thank you so much for watching. This is Krishna Kumar signing off.